Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tara and I am a junior at Florida International University studying marketing and international business. And if you aren't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like this video. I create videos every other Sunday, so make sure to look out for more FIU related content and college vlogs this upcoming semester. Today I decided to share 25 things that I wish I knew before starting my FIU journey, because for the past year and upcoming year, I have been a peer mentor, which is someone that assists the freshmen in the student life skills class that they're required to take their first year. And there's been a lot of things that I personally have learned, things that I wish I knew going into my college years that are super beneficial and things that even transfers might not know about FIU. I made sure to categorize everything because there's so much content to cover, so I will include timestamps of the categories below in case there's a specific area that you're interested that you would like to know more about. And without further ado, let's start the video. The first category that I'm going to be discussing is the social life environment of FIU. And basically the only thing I want to cover here is that FIU is the fourth most populated campus in the United States and is a mainly commuter school. This means that most people that attend FIU are from the Miami or Broward area and have lived there most of their lives. I also am a commuter, but the first year that I stayed there, I did dorm, and I can definitely say that the experience of dorming on campus is not your stereotypical experience as opposed to like a big state school. So that's just something to keep in mind, but it definitely doesn't degrade FIU in any way. The next category that I'll be discussing is the clubs and organization aspect of FIU. And as I was saying earlier, FIU is a big commuter school, so I do want to emphasize that getting involved on campus is a make or break experience and will make your college experience 1,000 times better. You can ask anyone that's gone involved at FIU and they can say the same. I asked my friends and they also said the same thing. So now that I've emphasized that getting involved is important, I'm sure your following question is, well, how do I get involved? What orgs are on campus? FIU actually has a website called Panther Connect that a lot of people don't know about, and one of the surveys that I conducted in one of my SLS classes, most students said that they didn't even know what Panther Connect is. But Panther Connect is a one-stop where you can go and you log in with your FIU credentials, and it literally shows all the active organizations that are registered under the student org council, and it lists their information, what exactly their description is about, their contact information, and it also shows upcoming events that are going to be on or off campus now that everything might be remote for a little while, so you can always check for updates there. It's a great website that definitely needs a lot more recognition for what it does. And one organization that I would like to shout out that I'm involved in is the Student Programming Council. This organization is in charge of planning events that you'll see on campus. There's many categories. There's marketing, there's the special events, pop-up events, films on Friday nights, events for the engineering center, and even events for different colleges, so you can get more acquainted with the college that you're involved in or interested in. And we have speaker events. So just saying, last year we had a speaker from Queer Eye come in, Karama Brown, if you're familiar, and yeah, it's a really great organization. It is what changed my perspective at FIU, and I did struggle with adjusting on campus my freshman year, so I decided to get involved my sophomore year and completely changed my perspective at FIU, and that just shows you how much getting involved can change your experience as a whole. The last thing that I want to cover in the student involvement section is the Center of Student Engagement. You can actually make appointments. This is something that they recently added, where you can talk to someone and they can set you up with organizations that they feel would be a best fit for you based off of your personality and your major and things that you want to do in life, so that you can ensure that you are in something that would be of a good fit for you. The third category that I want to discuss is parking and transportation, because I feel like this is a category that does not get covered enough in general, so I just wanted to give insight to how that process works for both car and bus. So starting with how I mentioned earlier, FIU is a big commuter school. This reflects a lot in parking, and you need to account for time to park for your classes. Now, of course, for this upcoming fall semester, I'm assuming parking is probably not going to be that bad because the majority of classes are going to be remote and online. So this more applies to just if COVID wasn't a thing and FIU is fully back to normal, classes are on campus. So starting with that, you want to account for at least 15 to 20 minutes of getting on campus and parking. And if you are running quick on time and you know that your time is running short, do not opt to park in the blue and gold parking garages that are located by the Graham Center. Everyone makes this mistake, and even though I'm saying it in this video, I'm sure you will still make the same mistake because sometimes you do get lucky, but at the end of the day, it's not very likely to happen, and I suggest parking in the gravel parking lot that's by the PG5 or even in PG5 because those are typically the least populated parking lots from what I've experienced, but you do have to account for more walking time. So if you have a longboard, a bike, or even an electric scooter, highly suggest bringing those because they can account for those times that you might be rushing. The next thing that I want to discuss in parking is just the permit process. So if you go on the FIU Parking and Transportation website and log in with your FIU credentials, you're able to register your car and license plate under their website, and everything is virtual, so you don't ever have to have a physical sticker on your car. You might notice that this last wave of seniors will have stickers on their car from possibly their first year at FIU before everything did get switched to virtual, but not to worry, you don't need to have one of those. Everything again is virtual and will be on the website with your license plate number. And don't make the mistake because they do find tickets. I have gotten several tickets because of the mistake of accidentally putting the wrong license plate number my first year. I just made a small error, didn't notice it, and they do fine you a lot. It ranges between $20 to $30 depending on where you're parking. And if you think you can get away with parking late at night, just rethink your decision because it doesn't always work. I can vouch for that one. My friends can vouch for that one. It's just the facts. The last thing that I want to mention is the bus system. And the bus system is actually super easy. There's various locations on campus that have bus stops. The ones that come to mind are right outside of the SAS building and by PG5 where the Chick-fil-A is located. Those are the two that come in mind on the MMC campus, but of course it depends on what campus location you're at. And there are 4 campuses for FIU. There is the MMC main campus, the BBC Biscayne Bay campus, the Engineering Center, which is down the street from the MMC campus, and lastly, the campus that gets overviewed a lot is the I-75 campus that's located in Miramar. So there are a lot of different campuses, and that's why we do have a bus system, but all you have to do is bring your FIU One card, and they don't always scan it, but it's always good to have on you in case they do, but they just count you in, you ride. Make sure to note which bus you're on. The long charter style bus is going to go to the BBC campus, and the shorter small bus goes to the Engineering Center because it's more regular. So keep those things in mind next time that you are thinking about using the bus system. The fourth category, and the most important category in my opinion that I want to discuss, is the academic and career tips section. So let's start with the basics of academics because this is the reason why you're going to college and is a pretty obvious reason why you should make sure that you're doing these things, and that is visiting your advisor. This is the biggest tip I can do, is meet with your advisor at least once a semester, right before class registration or even the beginning of the semester, whatever you feel is right for you. It is super important because you want to ensure that you're on track to graduate, taking the classes that are necessary for your major, and not doing anything that would give you excess credits for no reason. It also gives you a good relationship with your advisor. I personally like to meet with my advisor, one, again, to make sure I'm doing the right classes. But also I like to be a familiar face, because if I ever run into some trouble or I need some help, I know that if at least the advisor can recognize my name, that they're probably more willing to help me in those situations. Going along with advising, the next tip that I have is the Panther Success Network. This is something you should familiar yourself with, and this is located on the myfiu.edu website. And basically you go to academic advising and it'll say Success Network. You click it and the website, I believe, is called Navigate. And this is where you can find everything regarding your advisor information. It'll show the professors you're taking and their contact information along with your own advisor. And this is how you can also make appointments aside from just calling the office that your advisor is located in. And you can make phone appointments, Zoom appointments, in-person appointments, and it gives you all the notes from your previous sessions. So if there's something that you forgot to write down or want to reference back to, you can, and they never expire, so you can always refer back at any point. Another important resource that goes along with advising is the Panther Degree Audit. This is also located on the myfiu.edu website, but this is where you can kind of do a personal analysis of the classes that you should be taking along your journey of your 4 years at FIU, or 2 years, depending if you're a transfer. And it'll show all the requirements you're required to take in the different categories, whether that's English or sciences, the credits that you still have to take, your UCCs, your GLs, your global learnings, your Gordon Rule writing. All of that information and good stuff that you need to know before graduating will be listed there. And I kind of use the Panther Degree Audit as a guide before going into my advising appointments. That way I kind of have an idea of what classes that I want to take, and I can get my advisor to give a secondary opinion on what classes they think I should take. Staying along the topic of academics, there are 2 resources in the Green Library that I want to cover, starting with the first one, which is the Green Library Tutoring. This is called the Writing and Academic Center, which is going to be directly to the right of the Starbucks when you walk into the Green Library. And the first desk that you see when you walk in is going to be where you make tutoring appointments for any subject that isn't writing related. So they have tutoring for calculus, stats, sciences, basically any class that a lot of people struggle with will be located there. I have made my good use for business calculus and business stats, and although I didn't have positive experiences every time, you do need to remember that these are student tutors and not everyone is going to be the best teacher. So if you have a negative experience, don't blame that on the center itself, but try to give it 1 or 2 more chances again, and just make sure that you ask for a different tutor in the following times. And you can always request a specific tutor if you know someone works for your learning abilities. If you keep going farther back in that same department area, that's where you're going to find the desk to register for the Writing Center. And I have been to the Writing Center once, and they just review your essay and give you any pointers. I had to do this as a requirement for one of my history classes, but it actually was super beneficial because it was really quick and we just went through the basics of my essay and made sure that I brushed up on certain areas of it to ensure that it was a good essay, and I did end up getting like an A, so it does work. One thing I do want to emphasize about the tutoring centers is don't feel embarrassed if you need help with your academics, because it is college and things are at a much higher rate, and there's things that you just won't understand, and it's perfectly okay to ask for help. The other Green Library resource that people don't know about, at least I didn't know until like later this past sophomore year, is Green Library has laptop rentals in case you have issues with your laptop or you forget one at home and you need one for class. You can go on the 2nd floor and rent them out. It's really quick. You can rent it out for like a couple days, I believe, or more. I'm not sure exactly how long the period is that you can rent it. But this is a great resource in case you have some sort of issue with your computer for a week. Maybe you had to send it for repair, but you can always still continue your work. And they do have MacBook desktops in the library in case you need to use that instead. The last two things that I'm going to be talking about in this category is more career related, and that's starting with the Career and Talent Center. There are different career and talent centers located on campus, so you can go to one more specialized towards your major, but they also have a general one that's open to all majors in the SASC building, and you can go here for any advice, legitimately anything career related, whether it's getting in contact with someone within your field, resume skills, interview skills, and they even have a little area where you can get business clothing for free. So if you are financially incapable of providing some professional attire, they can help hook you up with that. And that's something that I think is super important and something that I fully respect on the center, because they want to ensure that every FIU Panther is graduating and getting a job when they leave. And like academic advising, I definitely suggest visiting the Career and Talent Center every year at least. That way you can always learn something, because we're all constantly growing, and no matter how strong we feel in a different category, there's always things we can improve on, and there's no reason for you to limit those abilities. The last career-related category that I'm going to discuss is LinkedIn Learning. If you're not already aware, LinkedIn is kind of like a social networking platform that you can get connected with people within your major, your field, even people that aren't, but you can see news about people's different paths and journey, and it's a really cool site. It's a website that gives you a bunch of courses that you can take. There's courses in management, marketing. If you're interested in Photoshop and you want to get certified, they have certification classes. And once you finish completing them, they go directly onto your LinkedIn profile, so it will be shown to employers and potential people that you can connect with. The next category that I want to discuss is the disability and health resources that are offered on campus, starting with the DRC, which is also known as the Disability Resource Center. This is located on the MMC campus and BBC campus, but the location on MMC is kind of near the GC bookstore. It's kind of directly across, and it's by the piano room. You just go in and you can make appointments. I highly suggest this resource, especially if you're someone like me who struggles with testing anxiety. They can give you extended time, and basically all you have to do is make an appointment. They give you a little consultation. You can bring in any documentations that can help secure and solidify your needs, and they can set you up for the following semester with these accommodations. And it doesn't even limit to just testing anxiety. If you're blind, deaf, hard of hearing, or even if you break your arm of your dominant hand and you can't write, you can also have a note taker come to classes with you and take notes for you so that you aren't missing any information that you need from your courses. The next resource is the Student Health Center, and this is located in its own building, kind of near the Rec and Wellness Center, which is also the gym. And you can go here for literally anything. It's like a doctor. You can make an appointment if you're feeling a little ill or off, and they can give you prescriptions, and there's even a pharmacy in the same building, so they can link it to the downstairs pharmacy. For example, if you live on campus and don't have a car, they can have that access for you. Or they can send it to the pharmacy that you actually go to, whether it's a CVS off campus or whatever the situation may be. But it is really beneficial. In addition, they also offer things in the downstairs area like aromatherapy. They have condoms, lube. They give massages, which is super cool. And also, I feel like I'm forgetting one. Acupuncture. So, all of these resources are free and definitely something you should take advantage of because it is in your tuition fee. So take what's free, come on. The last resource that I want to mention is CAPS, which is the counseling services that are offered on campus. This is also located in the Student Health Center building, and it's on the second floor. But you can make a consultation appointment and they'll go through everything about your questionnaire and basically figure out what's best for you and what steps they should take to help you. I've gone personally once and it was really good. I signed up for a workshop about how to deal with anxiety management, and it is really beneficial, and they're super nice and confidential. And mental health is something that should not be taken lightly. Please, if you are actually struggling, please reach out to a friend if you're ever struggling. And again, like how I mentioned earlier, the Disability Resource Center, if there's things that you're struggling with, don't feel embarrassed. Please definitely reach out for help whenever you're having anything implementing or impacting your academic or career experience. And drum roll, the last category that I will be discussing is helpful apps that you should definitely download on your phone ahead of time. Starting with the first app is the FIU Check-In app. This is something that is still fairly new. They added the first year that I started FIU, but it's an app that takes track of attendance instead of just doing your old-fashioned roll call, because especially if you have a big class of over 100 people, it's more convenient to just scan a QR code saying that you're attending the class than just saying here. And like I said, this is still fairly new and some professors aren't as tech savvy as others, but definitely have it downloaded onto your phone ahead of time, because this is something that's becoming more common. And especially with COVID, I'm guessing they're probably gonna make it even more common in classroom settings. I'm just thinking of like how many of you might be watching this in like spring or like a future year and are just like the constant mentioning of COVID. Just weird how times have changed. Ugh. The next app that I want to discuss is the PantherFit app, and this is basically like any gym app that you can sign up for classes, kind of like the idea of Orange Theory or like a hot yoga studio, whatever you want to refer it to. But they have a list of various different classes. They have Zumba, they have yoga, they have I believe some karate classes, they have cycling. And how it works is you just sign on to the app, you click a class that you're interested in with a time, it shows the instructor, and you're registered for that class. I will say though, I remember the last time I used it, I believe you could only sign up for a maximum of 2 classes at a time. It could have even been 1, because they want to ensure that people are actually attending and not registering for a bunch of classes and then not showing up. So when you're signing up, make sure that class is definitely something you're planning on attending versus just signing up just to sign up. The next app that I'll be discussing is more for people that are dorming on campus, but that is the Mobile ID app. This is something that you can use as opposed to just your one card. So if you get locked out of your room and your card is inside, you can use this app in replacement of just going down to the front desk and having them open the door for you. And you just swipe it, you put in your code into the door, and it lets you in, no problem. I used this several times when I was dorming, and it was super beneficial. Another thing for non-dormers and even people that are dorming on campus, there's a way to get a virtual barcode of your card itself. So if it's fading or for whatever reason is causing issues, this can help you get into the green library, and it only works for the green library, but I know I had problems where throughout the year that I was dorming, because I was swiping it so much, the barcode itself kept fading, and I used this as an alternate in case it wouldn't read my card. And it's helpful because you don't have to pull out your wallet or whatever you're keeping your card in. You can just pull up your phone and go click, and it's good to go. The next app that I'm gonna be talking about is more for business students, which is BizPass. This is a system that you can go to FIU business or career themed events, and they'll have a QR code, and it's kind of like FIU Check-In, where you scan the QR code and you get credit for attendance. And what's different though is you can stack up your points and cash them in for rewards. Now I don't know what these rewards are because I haven't gone enough points yet to do that, but I do think it's a cool system and definitely something you should download if you are a business student and plan on getting involved. The next app that I'm going to talk about is Tapingo or Grubhub. The reason why I'm seeing both of them is because we're in the transition period of Tapingo being more just Grubhub, and it kind of directs you to the Grubhub app instead. But just have them both downloaded on your phone in case, because I'm not really sure why it was doing that last semester. And this is how you can pre-order food ahead of time. So if you have classes that are close together and you need to eat something in between, it's great to just order your food ahead of time, pick it up on your way to class, and they have a separate little pickup station for those orders, and you can just go about your day. Super convenient. The next app that I suggest, and this is only if you plan on taking some of your classes through your phone instead of your computer, is the Zoom app for obvious reasons. If you have a remote or online class, Zoom is going to be a very common source that you'll be using to view your classes. The next app that I suggest, and I mentioned earlier, is LinkedIn. If you plan on networking with people, or even if you don't plan on it, but you just want some general career advice, or you want to get that LinkedIn learning resource, make sure to make an account, and a lot of classes require you to make an account in the first place, so you might as well just go ahead and have it downloaded on your phone. Similar to LinkedIn, the next app that I will be discussing is Handshake. And how Handshake works is it's a partnership between FIU and companies can post job positions that are opening up that they want to see applications from FIU students alone first. And you can apply for these opportunities, update your profile, and just see what opportunities are on campus. This is also how you register for a lot of career fairs that are on campus ahead of time. And this is actually a requirement that you have to make an account in your SLS class, so you might as well download it because you're gonna have to make an account regardless of the situation. A very obvious app that I'm gonna just mention is Canvas. This is where you're gonna view all your assignments and your classes and everything you need to know for your semester, so you might as well download Canvas if you haven't already. We used to use Blackboard, I guess, before I started, but yes, Canvas is our platform, and you definitely need that app on your phone. And finally, the last app that I suggest you download on your phone is the Duo mobile app. This is something new that even I recently downloaded over the summer, and it's because FIU has added more security with logging into your myfiu.edu website. So this is basically, instead of it calling you, you can have push notifications sent to this app, and you can just enter in a code. So if that's something you would feel more than just picking up a phone and pressing a random key to get your access in, this is an alternative way you can do it. It's not like the most important app to have on your phone, but definitely something helpful in case that's the route you want to go. Thank you so much for watching. I know this was a really long video, but I wanted to ensure that I was covering all the information that would help you guys during your college experience. I hope these 25 things that I taught help you throughout your experience. I wish you guys a great semester ahead, whether you are a FIU freshman, transfer, or even a high school student looking to see what FIU offers on campus. I wish you guys all the best of luck. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and have a great day, guys. Bye!